Janelle hadn't cried in months. She'd learned not to. After years of being second best, of competing for room in a family that didn't feel like hers anymore, Janelle had mastered swallowing pain. She learned how to compartmentalize it, neatly fold it, and insert it behind the everyday chores, the texts from the children, the bills that continued to arrive in Kody's name. That morning, though, something broke. It wasn't sensational. It wasn't a scream. It was a straightforward message from Garrison. Mom, they sold the backlot. It's gone. She believed at first it was an error. The property? The one they battled over on Coyote Pass for years? The same property Kody had assured her, on camera, in the presence of God, in front of the whole world? Gone? Without a phone call. Without warning. She was numb, staring at her phone. Her coffee had turned cold in her hand. Garrison texted again, this time with a link, a public record listing, one confirming the sale. And below it 2 names as authorized sellers, Kody Brown, Robyn Sullivan Brown. No typo, no mistake, no betrayal. An ambush. How long had they been planning this? She rose slowly, heart racing. Her head was light, as if the earth was tilting underneath her. Because it was never about land. It was about trust, history, vows spoken on dirt roads and forgotten during silent meals where no one spoke. This wasn't about property. This was the last thing that belonged to all of them. And now, it was owned by someone else. She tried calling Kody first. No answer. She phoned again. Silence. That quiet spoke volumes. Janelle did not scream. She didn't rage out. She didn't throw objects, though her body ached for it. What she did, however, was what she always did. She began to make lists, not of shopping or bills, not even contacts to call. She listed all the promises Kody had made and broken. She tallied every instance where Robyn had accidentally been present when decisions were being made. She scribbled down the day she'd first stood on that soil with her sons, fantasizing about what they'd create. She recalled Kody grinning and telling her, "This is yours, Janelle." Finally, he'd met her gaze when he said it. And now, he'd washed away that future with a signature. She dialed Mary. Nothing. She dialed Christine. Voicemail? That was when it struck her. She was the last one left, grasping at something that did not want her. She went driving to the old land. It was there, still silent, still grown up in weeds that had never been cut back. The property lines hadn't been disturbed. No bulldozer, no for sale sign. But it didn't belong to her. That was the harshest part. It still looked like home, even though it had already forgotten her. Her phone buzzed. Finally, Kody. She stared at the name before answering. Janelle, he said. Too casual. Too late. Tell me it's not true. There was a pause. You're upset. That was all he said. Not I'm sorry. Not let me explain. You sold it? Her voice didn't shake. I had to, he replied. We weren't using it. It made sense. We? She repeated. Who is we? Kody? Silence. Then, Robyn and I. She hung up. Not because she didn't care to hear the rest, but because she already knew the ending. That evening, Janelle sat with Garrison and Gabriel by the fire pit. It had been a while since the 3 of them were all together without some kind of emotional fallout hanging over their heads. Tonight, there were no camera crews, no producers pretending this was a healing moment, just firewood, tired laughter, and unspoken rage. I'm done, she said, finally. Garrison looked up. Like, done, she nodded. I gave him everything, my time, my loyalty, my patience, and when I asked for one small thing, for my boys to have a future, he gave it to someone else. Gabriel gazed into the fire. He never saw us. He never saw me, Janelle breathed. That's when she made up her mind, quietly. No fireworks. No show. She wouldn't scream. She would move, silently, strategically, like Robyn had. Except Janelle would not be keeping secrets. She'd be constructing. The following morning, she stopped by the courthouse and asked for all the records she could get on the sale of the property. She didn't want to make it undone. She couldn't. But she needed to know how far the duplicity extended. Who signed? Who pressured? Who knew? And remained silent. She located the documents, the signatures, and one printout of an email that almost took her breath away. It was from 3 months prior. Subject line, "Let's just deal with it before someone notices." Sent, Robyn S. Brown. To Kody Brown attached. Final sale contract. Before anyone will notice. So it had never been a mistake. It was a plan. A quiet one. They hadn't forgotten Janelle. They had left her out. On purpose. She made one last drive to the lot that week. She did not cry. She brought a folding chair, a notebook, and a thermos of coffee. She sat for 3 hours, writing in silence, not a letter to Kody, not a diary entry, something else. Plans. Because Janelle had been excluded from the old future. So now, she would create a new one. They can have the land, she wrote. But they can't annul the promise. Not this time. Janelle did not call first. She headed to Flagstaff with no GPS, no playlist, no agenda. Only a folder on the passenger seat, and a lifetime of control in the rearview mirror. The mountain air was colder than normal. A storm lingered low in the clouds, anticipating. So was she. Robyn's house lay on the outskirts of town, too manicured, too still. It seemed untouched by dust, untouched by remorse, as if it had never struggled, as if it had been constructed by forgetting. Janelle parked across the street. She didn't approach right away. She gazed at the porch, recalling the day that Kody had brought in his boxes, like they were nothing, recalling how Robyn had stood there smiling, as if the door was always meant for her. She didn't despise Robyn. She felt sorry for her, because Robyn had gained a man, and lost a sisterhood. Janelle approached the door, folder in hand. She knocked 3 times. When Robyn replied, her expression changed, something like surprise, and something like caution. "Janelle? Hey," Janelle said serenely. "You have a minute." Robyn hesitated. "Kody's not here." "Perfect," Janelle said, stepping in before the air had a chance to become colder. The living room was spotless, too spotless, like a set-up memory. She saw photographs of the children, warm lighting, pastel colors, no trace of the mess behind the walls. Robyn waved to the couch. "Sit." "Okay, I'll stand," Janelle said, extending the folder. "You'll want to see this." Robyn took it cautiously, opened it, scanned the first few pages. Sale records, signatures, dates. She stopped on the email, then glanced up. "How did you get this?" "Public records," Janelle said. "Most of it's buried, but not impossible. You and Kody weren't careful. Or maybe you thought I wouldn't look." Robyn gripped the folder closer. "It wasn't supposed to be personal." "Then why did it feel like a knife?" Janelle remained firm. "You understood what that piece of land did for my boys, for me. You smiled during all those meetings and made me think we were working together." Robyn's tone softened. "Things shifted." "No," Janelle interrupted. "You shifted them, and you did it behind closed doors." The tension between them snapped like dry wood. Janelle went to the window and stood facing the driveway. "I used to think that being quiet made me tough," she said, "that if I just kept my head down, things would turn back around." She turned. "But quiet doesn't keep you safe. It just allows louder people to reinterpret the truth." Robyn put the folder on the table. Her eyes were wet but guarded. "You think I hurt you? I think you wanted me gone, and this was the cleanest way to do it." Robyn also stood now. "You don't know what it's like to always be the one everyone blames." Janelle arched her brows. "And yet, somehow you're always standing beside the person who holds the pen." Robyn winced. Tension in the room wound tight. But Janelle did not come to fight. She came to finish something. "I'm not here to reclaim the land," she stated. "It's over. You ensured that." Robyn took a step closer. "So why are you here?" Janelle looked her straight in the eye, her voice calm and steady. "To let you know I'm not finished building. I'm just not building with you." She walked out silently. No dramatic exit, no slammed door, just clarity, and a plan. Later that same week, Janelle sat down with a realtor. Not for Coyote Pass, but for a smaller, uglier chunk of property out further. Not fancy, but it was hers, all hers. Garrison accompanied her, walked the property line with her. He didn't say anything, but he didn't need to. Being there was enough. It kept her focused on what was important. "You think it's worth it?" he asked, wiping the sweat from his forehead. Janelle smiled, laying her hand on the earth. "I believe all that I've done for this family was worth it. But now, I do things for this family. You, me, us." Garrison nodded. "Then let's do it right." The next time Kody phoned, she answered. Not because she wanted to hear his voice, but because she was finished running from things. "Janelle," he said, "you went to Robyn." "I did. She's shaken up. She'll live." Kody sighed. "You should have done better." "I should have," she agreed. "But then so should you." A pause so long it felt like an eternity. Then in a softer voice, "I didn't mean for it to be like this." Janelle sat on the steps in front of her house, looking out across the trees. "You didn't mean for a lot of things, but you still let them happen." Kody didn't have an answer. So Janelle hung up the way she always wanted to have all those years ago, by not saying a word, and slamming down the receiver. 2 weeks passed. Something odd occurred. Christine called. She spoke softly, uncertainly. I heard about the land. Janelle laughed coldly. From whom, Robyn? No, Gwendolyn. It's on the cousins group chat. Janelle smiled weakly. Of course it was. I'm sorry, Christine said. I should have called you sooner. I didn't think you would, Janelle said. Christine hesitated. But I want to now. They had lunch at a small, out-of-town cafe. Christine had sunglasses and a baggy sweater on. Janelle arrived as she was. No makeup, no armor, just honesty. With salads and iced tea in front of them, Christine finally spoke up. I know I left a mess behind, and I think I let you clean it up because I thought you could handle it. I did do it, Janelle replied, but not for nothing. Christine extended her hand across the table. Let me help you now. Janelle stared at her, amazed. I have some money set aside, from the book, the podcast. I could invest, not because you need it, but because we need something real again. Janelle's throat constricted, not because of the money, but because finally someone said we, and meant it. Janelle didn't ask for sympathy. She asked for possibility. And now, at last, it was before her. Earlier, Janelle found Kody and Robyn, secretly sold some land she was promised. Instead of battling, she bought her own piece of land in private, with Garrison by her side. She confronted Robyn, left the betrayal behind, and accepted Christine's offer to rebuild something real. The land wasn't beautiful yet. There were weeds that stood taller than Janelle's waist, rusty barbed wire along the rear line, and a ruptured water line somewhere in the ground. The shed reeked of not having been disturbed since the 1980s, and a tiny family of field mice had made full claim. But when Janelle emerged from her truck and gazed out across the clearing, all she saw was freedom. Earned, real freedom. Garrison pulled up right behind her, with his truck bed full of tools. You still sure about this? Janelle looked up at the rising sun. I've never been more sure. They got to work. They spent the day cutting back brush, dragging out dead wood, and measuring for the start of a new garden. Janelle didn't need a palace. She needed a place to grow. By late afternoon, the air was orange and their hands were smudged with sweat, sap, and earth. They had stood back from the clearing, shoulder to shoulder. You think they'll show up? Garrison asked. Janelle did not ask whom he meant. She simply breathed slowly. I think the right ones already have. But she was mistaken. The next morning, as she unloaded lumber from the back of her truck, she heard the crunch of tires behind her. She turned slowly. Kody, standing there like nothing had changed. He didn't look angry. He didn't look regretful either. He just looked like Kody. Nice spot, he said, walking forward without waiting for permission. Janelle stayed still. You're trespassing. Kody smirked. You gonna call the sheriff on the father of your kids? I may, she replied coolly. If he's here to gaslight me. He hesitated. I'm not here to fight. Then why are you here? Kody glanced around. I just heard that you were doing this. I wanted to see it for myself. You mean see if you're still able without me? He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. You were always able, Janelle. That's what intimidated me. Her heart no longer clenched at those words. It simply hardened. I'm not here to impress you, she stated. I didn't tell you you were. Janelle was between him and the garden design. You sold property behind my back. You didn't just leave. You locked the door after me. Kody gazed down. I made a decision. A lot was happening. And you assumed I wouldn't notice. She cut in. Or worse, you assumed I would notice. And still remain. That was when his charm fractured. You've always painted me as the bad guy, he told her. But you were never willing to collaborate with me. You never stood behind me the way Robyn does. And you never stood behind me the way I required, she snapped. You adored loyalty, not love. He said nothing. For once he had no quick retort. She let that silence hang. Then at last, he spoke. I believed we were constructing something at the time. We were. Janelle explained. But you were always giving the blueprints to someone else. Kody stormed off without a goodbye. No apology, no fight, just that look in his eye, the one that always made her question herself. This time, she didn't flinch. Later that week, Christine came out to the land. She had boots, sunglasses, and cold beverages in a cooler. So she said, exiting her car. Is this where the revolution begins? Janelle grinned. It's where it begins again. They sat side by side in folding chairs, observing Garrison drive stakes into the ground. I'm proud of you, Christine said. I'm proud of me too. Finally, she replied. Christine glanced over. More earnest now. I've got an idea. But you have to promise not to roll your eyes. I'm listening. Christine rummaged out a tiny notebook. You and I, shared property, owned together, managed together, 2 little houses, 1 shared garden, possibly a chicken coop, if we mess it up. Janelle blinked. Are you proposing to me? Christine grinned. You were the only one I ever trusted to balance the books. Why not try again? This time without the guy. Janelle did not respond immediately, because she was considering. Not about solar panels and permits, but about waking up in the morning, knowing that she wouldn't be caught off guard. About the sound of a woman's laughter coming from the apartment next door, and the knowledge that it wasn't forced. About family. Adopted family. She gazed out at the land. Her land. Their potential land. And then she nodded. Let's do it. The news didn't take long to reach Robyn. She messaged Janelle 2 days later. He's been off ever since. Maybe it was too much. You know how sensitive he gets. Janelle glared at the text, then deleted it, because she was done keeping up with his moods. That Sunday, Garrison assisted Janelle in hanging a community board beside the driveway entrance. On it, she tacked a laminated sign. It said, "Welcome to the reclaimed plot, where peace grows louder than promises." A week later, Savannah showed up. Janelle cried when she saw her daughter walking toward her with a small bag and tired eyes. They hugged tight. I've been watching, Savannah said, and I'm ready to help. Help build? Janelle asked. Savannah shook her head. Help rebuild. Janelle's world wasn't just rising, it was being reclaimed. And for the first time in years, she didn't feel like a supporting character. She felt like the foundation. Earlier, Janelle broke ground on her property. She confronted Robyn. She turned down Kody's check-in. Christine joined her on a new path of mutual independence. And even Savannah came back, eager to assist in the rebuilding process. But Kody isn't done. Not yet. Kody's always thought he could outsmart Janelle by working through the kids. He'd done it before. Arrived at birthdays at the last minute to earn brownie points. Texted Gabriel as if nothing ever occurred. Played the hurt dad when he wasn't invited to Thanksgiving. It had worked before. This time though, he pushed his luck. It began with a visit to Hunter. Unbeknownst, Janelle got word of it secondhand from Garrison. Hunter stopped by, like he was visiting, just checking in. Garrison said as he pulled in wood. But seriously? He asked what you were making. Janelle arched an eyebrow. What did Hunter say to him? Nothing. Just grinned and said, "You'll see." She couldn't help but chuckle. Kody dreaded not knowing something. Knowledge was power to him, and power had always made him feel like a boss. Now he was simply orbiting, and Janelle was no longer his planet. The second time Kody swooped in, he was braver. This time he dialed Savannah personally. Janelle was within hearing distance when it occurred. Savannah picked up the call and put it on speaker without hesitation. "Hi Dad." "Hey sweetheart." Kody replied, his tone all sweet concern. "I miss you. Just wondering how everything's going. I heard your mom's been busy." Savannah looked at Janelle, who nodded ever so slightly. "We've been working on the property," Savannah said. "It's coming along." Kody hesitated. "You mean the wee bit she purchased out by the ridge?" Janelle didn't even blink, but Savannah did. "It's not we," Savannah said. "It's ours." "Ours?" Kody laughed. "Come on, sweetheart. You know she's pulling you into chaos again. Constructing a house from the ground up. Without me? It's not realistic." Janelle intervened. Kody, huh? Silent. Then a light, muffled laugh. "Of course I am. Don't summon my daughter to second-guess my life," Janelle said. "If you want to say something to me, say it to me." "I tried," he said. "You hung up on me. You're fortunate that's all you got." Kody's voice turned cutting. "So what, Janelle? You're going to set up a commune with Christine now? Act like I never existed?" "No, I'm creating something better." The call ended. Janelle didn't even need to hang up this time. Savannah did it for her. That night, Janelle sat on the porch with Christine and Garrison. The wind had picked up, rustling through the trees, like it knew change was near. "You think he's going to give up?" Christine asked. Janelle shook her head. "No, but I'm not waiting around to find out. Let him spin. I'm not biting." Christine smirked. "You're the calmest storm I've ever seen." But Kody's next move wasn't calm. It was calculated. A week later, a local blogger posted a leak claiming Janelle and Christine were starting a brand new Sister Wives style compound, this time just with women, and that it was anti-Kody, anti-family, and completely off-grid. The story spread fast. Reddit lit up. TikTok speculated. Even Facebook groups with anti-energy were ablaze with rumors. Janelle was furious but only briefly. She recognized the move. It was classic deflection. Weaponized attention. Christine was less amused. You think he leaked it? Janelle nodded. I think he planted the seed and let someone else water it. Garrison pulled out his phone. We can shut it down. No, Janelle said. We let it breathe. Christine blinked. What? Janelle stood, pulling a tarp over the lumber pile. Let them think we're building a revolution. She glanced over her shoulder, a smile spreading slowly. Because we are. The following day, she uploaded her first social media video in more than a year. It was brief, only 30 seconds. Janelle, wearing boots and work gloves, on her bare plot of ground. They told me I couldn't do it without him. They were right. I'm doing it better. Welcome to the rebuild. She cut off with a wink and strode off screen. It reached 400,000 views within 2 days. Comments streamed in. Janelle is that woman. This is what healing looks like. I want to live on her land just to feel peace. Robyn did not comment, but she watched. Christine noticed her name on the view count. Let her watch, Janelle said. 2 days after that, Kody appeared. Again, this time he had a gift. A housewarming basket, olive oil, artificial greenery, 2 candles, and a creased note. Janelle just opened the door enough to let him in. He grinned like a politician. I thought you could use a little heat. She didn't even smile back. Too bad you sold the firewood. Kody sighed. I'm trying here. You're late, she said. And trying doesn't undo doing. He glanced over her shoulder at the porch. The evidence of progress. You're actually doing it, he said. Of course I am. But why with her? He meant Christine. Because she appeared. Janelle said. And I didn't? He asked. She angled her head. No. You appeared too. Just always for yourself. She shut the door softly but firmly. She threw the simulated greenery into the trash. Retained the olive oil. That evening she posted again. A picture of her garden beginning to blossom. The caption was, "It's amazing what grows when no one's trying to clip your roots." The internet lost its mind. People began referring to the project as the reclaimed plot. Women from everywhere messaged her. Some only sent hearts. Others sent plots of land. One wrote, "You're the voice I needed at 52. Janelle read all of them. And for the first time her piece wasn't quiet. It was loud, proud, and shared. The sky was blue that morning. Quiet. Too quiet. Janelle was out in the garden, inspecting the raised beds for bugs. The tomatoes were finally blooming. The onions were recalcitrant. And the lavender Christine's experiment had begun to sprout. Garrison was on a supply run. Christine was dealing with a plumbing leak in her trailer. Janelle was alone. And that's when the car stopped. Dark blue, strange plates. She unbent slowly, brushing dirt off her hands. Robyn, she slid out slowly, wearing large sunglasses and a cardigan that seemed incongruous in the Arizona heat. Janelle didn't stir. She allowed Robyn to traverse the entire length of the driveway, without offering shade, water, or a smile. Hi, Robyn whispered. You lost, Janelle said. Robyn sighed. No, I came to talk. I didn't invite you. I didn't come for permission. That answer surprised Janelle. A flash of the old Robyn, assertive, firm, strategic. Not the trembling voice who usually played victim. Janelle gestured to a nearby folding chair. Then sit. Let's hear it. Robyn sat down slowly, pulling the cardigan around her like armor. I saw your video. The garden. Janelle nodded. It's real. Unlike some promises. Robyn didn't rise to the bait. I'm not here to fight you, Janelle. Then what? I came to explain. Janelle crossed her arms. You're about a year late for that. Robyn looked away for a moment. Then almost in a whisper. I didn't want him to sell the land. Janelle narrowed her eyes. You signed the papers. I know, Robyn said. But it wasn't about you. Janelle scoffed. That's the problem. It never is. Robyn sat forward, her tone harder now. Kody was in need of money. Not a small amount. A large one. He was getting sued. Janelle blinked. What? Last spring. Something from way back. A loan he signed on one of the LLCs. He thought it was taken care of. But it came back. They were issuing liens. And instead of turning to the family, he sold the land. He didn't want you to know, Robyn answered. Told it would make him appear weak. Said you'd turn it back on him. Janelle's jaw worked. So he threw me under the bus instead then. Robyn shook her head. He thought he could replace the money later. Buy it back before you realize. Janelle snorted. Replace land like grocery. But then everything became clearer. Kody's bizarre behavior. His unease. His disappearance. The hasty paperwork. The midnight calls he never clarified. He wasn't just cheating on her. He was protecting himself. And you cooperated, Janelle said icily. Robyn slowly nodded. Because if he fell, I would fall. Janelle glared at her. That is what marriage means to you. Robyn blinked. Survival. There it was. The crack in the glass. Not love. Not sisterhood. Not trust. Survival. Janelle sat back, heart racing, not with anger, but recognition. They'd all been getting by. But she alone had last decided to live. So what do you want from me, Robyn? Robyn gazed at her hands. I want to help. Help what? Fix things. The public's turning on us. Kody's barely coping. You've made him look like himself. Robyn cringed. He's considering leaving town, starting fresh somewhere new. Janelle shrugged. Let him. And the kids? Robyn asked. Janelle moved forward. Our children are adults. And the ones still observing. They're seeing who we are now. Robyn's eyes overfilled with tears. You don't have to make this war. Janelle's tone was cold steel. I didn't begin it. I just ceased to pretend it wasn't occurring. They sat there in silence. For a moment, only sound was wind moving through the garden. Then Janelle stood. You can let Kody know that I know it all now. And I don't despise him. Robyn looked up. You don't? No, Janelle said. I just see him finally. She paused, then continued. And I see you too. Robyn stood. Her eyes had dark circles under them. Her mouth was set in a thin line. Will you ever forgive me? Janelle met her eye. I already did. That's why I'm not you. Robyn returned to her car. No hugs, no healing, just clarity. And for once that was enough. That evening Janelle didn't weep. She didn't rant. She pulled out her worn planner, the one she hadn't opened since pre-COVID, and flipped it open to a new page. She headlined what I keep. Then she began to list. My land, my peace. My name, my children. My truth. My voice. My direction. Myself. She double underlined the last one. Christine arrived the following morning with coffee and a wild glint in her eye. You won't believe this. Janelle raised her eyes. Try me. Christine retrieved her phone, playing a clip from a morning television show. And now with the viral ascension of former Sister Wives, Janelle and Christine, viewers are asking, is this the new reality TV frontier? Women forging their own way, without the husband. Janelle blinked. Christine smiled. They want us. Podcasts, book deals, a documentary. Janelle slowly shook her head. That's not what this was about. I know, Christine replied. But perhaps it is what it can become. Janelle leaned back. We were just planting tomatoes. Christine lifted her cup. And we inadvertently grew a movement. They laughed. Not the laugh of flight. The laugh of women who had nothing left to prove, and everything left to build. Earlier Robyn went to Janelle's property, and broke the news. Kody sold the land in secret, not to punish her, but to salvage his own money troubles. Robyn signed and Janelle didn't lash out in anger. She acted with grace and integrity. Now the world sees her story, and Janelle knows she is no longer surviving. She is leading. The chickens preceded the press. That was what Janelle would never forget. Christine had insisted they try a small coup for eggs and soul therapy. She'd said with a wink. Savannah had named them after strong women, Ruth, Harriet, Serena, and one little red hen called Gloria. Janelle fed them every morning at sunrise, and every morning she whispered the same thing as she opened the coop. We're safe now. She wasn't saying it to the hens. She was telling it to the girl within her, the one who had once waited silently for permission. That girl no longer existed. In her place was something Kody didn't know anymore, and frightened. He made one final attempt. This time he did not appear on the land or deliver a basket. He wrote a letter, by hand, 4 pages. Christine passed it to Janelle with coffee. He gave it to Truly to give to me to give to you, she said, frowning. Real mature.